Pitting, 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 pitting. Ah, is anybody gonna come to my class? Is anybody gonna come to my class? Oh, very good. Some people are arriving there. Hello there, nice to see you. Can you please just pop into the chat your name? You should see a little, if you hover your mouse over the screen, you'll see a little speech bubble that says chat. So just use that to communicate with me. We are going to do a pronunciation class, which will be interesting considering I cannot hear you nor see you, but you will be able to hear and see me, which will be good. Alrighty, please pop your name into the chat. And while you're doing that, I'm just gonna, we may as well get started. I'm a minute early, but that's okay. What I'm going to do is actually just share my screen, and we're just going to have a look at the Speaking Lab course. I'm just going to take you through. In fact, I'm just going to show you through E2 School, which is a brand new platform, which I'm very excited about, and it's alive, which is pretty amazing. Obviously, you have been using this because you have registered for this live class, which is cool, but just let me sort of take you through it here. So we've got a few different courses available at the moment. Most of them are locked. The activities are locked within the courses, but you still can access some of them to get a bit of an idea of what they're about. So we have a placement test, which is a pretty cool little thing. And what that does, it will just show you where, where you sit from beginner to advanced in terms of your language skills. So you start the test here. There's just a couple of things I want to point out about this. The technology is not 100%. So when you're doing it and you're clicking next, okay, and so, whoopsie, you can see my answers here. Just remember that you have to click submit and then click next, okay? Click submit and then click next. If you just click next, it won't actually collect all of your answers. So we're working to fix that at the moment. But that's pretty cool because when you do get to the end, it tells you what your current level is, which is the purpose of the placement test. We've got Speaking Lab, which we're going to do in this live class today. This is pretty cool. This course is called Test Ready. And what this is for, what it does is it builds up your vocabulary for if you're taking a PT or an IELTS test. So it's pretty high level. It's more advanced English. But what it does, it looks at different themes like education and health and environment and business, etc. And then so for culture and society, it looks at crime and agriculture and stuff like that. And within here you have well, you have vocabulary building exercises, but you also have reading and listening skill building as well as speaking and writing as well. So that's pretty cool. So that's test ready for advanced learners. Grammar review, I won't show you, but it's a very good course if you do want to improve your grammar skills. It takes you through all the different parts of English grammar, from articles to nouns to all the different verb tenses and adverbs and adjectives and conjunctions and blah, blah, blah. Now, you probably didn't see this. There's a little button here that says show more. If you click that, you'll see this one here which says level 1 key. Now, this is a cool little beginner English course. It takes you through some simple types of themes here like people or home or work or education, etc. And then maybe you're too advanced for this, but maybe you feel like you want to go back and really make sure you've got it all correct. So these combine lots of listening and speaking and reading and writing and grammar and vocabulary activities as well. So anyway, that's just a taste of the different courses here. What I'm going to do now is just quickly show you Speaking Lab before we actually start to do some practice. So this course here takes you through the short vowels like ah, eh, I, o. Long vowels, as in r, e, or combined vowels like a, oi, I, air, for example. The consonants like b, d, g, v, z, and the other unvoiced consonants like p, t, k, f, s, for example. And how it does that is you have a lesson where the teacher will show you how to actually produce this sound correctly. And then you have some listening practice where you need to listen and highlight the words. I'll show you this one, for example. This is quite fun. So what this does is it just gets you to comprehend or hear the sound that is being made. The first step in good pronunciation is to actually hear the sound, to be aware of the sound, to know what the sound is. Then you can actually begin to produce the sound. If you can't even hear it, then you're in trouble. So this is an activity where you listen to the audio file, and because we're focusing on the ah sound, like activity and as, for example, you'll highlight those words. You can see a hint here, for example. And then you go across to the next one. Now, this will be all unlocked very soon, so just bear with us for the next week while we're still doing some platform development. But in about a week's time, you'll actually be able to purchase the full course and all of the live classes as well. So that's going to be really cool. Okie dokie, let's get started though. We're going to do some pronunciation practice. This is called Speaking Lab, and my name is Jay. Thank you very much for coming along. What we're going to do first is just a little bit of theory. I just want to talk to you about what is pronunciation. How can you improve your pronunciation? How can you turn your phone off when you're giving a live class? Just joking. Okay, so let's have a look here. So, of course, there are in English 44 individual sounds, okay? In your first language, there might be 54, or there might be 38, okay? Each language has a different number of sounds. And what I mean by a sound is just some sort of sound that you produce with your tongue, teeth, lips, throat, etc. Some sort of k, d, f, ah, whatever it is. And in English, we might have particular sounds that you do not have in your language, or we might have a lot of sounds that you already do have. So maybe you won't have problems with those sounds. You're going to have problems with the sounds that you don't have, okay? Or that we have that you don't have. So they're your focus. So of the 44 sounds in English, there are 13 vowels. What's a vowel? A vowel is a sound that you make where you do not use your teeth, lips, tongue, or throat. It's just air coming out like ah, ah, ah. I'm not using my mouth to block any sounds there, or eh, 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 eh. It's coming purely from the back of my throat here. E, 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 e. So that's a vowel sound. And in English, there are 13. We're going to see them all in a second, so don't worry. There are also 8 combined vowel sounds. This is where you take an ah and an e, for example, or an ah and an e, I just said that, and you make a sound like a, a, a. So this is a combined, 2 vowels combined, a, like wait, or did you take the aeroplane, plane, a. This sounds a little bit Australian. I have an Australian accent, by the way, a slight Australian accent, but this is a very funny sound for Australians to say, hey, mate, wait, a, or oh, did you see the show last night? Oh, or ear. Don't fear. So these are combined sounds. Then you have the consonants. What's a consonant? Well, if a vowel sound is a sound that you make without using your teeth, tongue, lips, or mouth, consonants are sounds that you do. So p, for example, is a consonant because I'm distinctly using my lips here. P, or b, or t. I'm using my teeth there, my tongue against my teeth. D. I'm using my tongue against the roof of my mouth. So consonants are sounds that use the different parts of your mouth to make those particular sounds. Now, they're the individual sounds that you make, okay? And that's helpful. But then what you've got to realize is that there are combinations of these sounds. So where you combine a p, and let's have a look. I'm not going to make it up. Look at this one here, for example. So if I said, hey, are you going shopping tomorrow? Going shopping. That's an example of a consonant cluster. So what I've got here is I've got the sound with the sh sound, and it's combined into one sound. Are you going shopping tomorrow? Going shopping? When you start to speak, let's call it naturally, where you start to combine words together, you start to connect those sounds together. It sounds very natural. This is what native speakers do all the time, is you're creating these consonant clusters. But it may not be between words like that. It may actually be within the one word, like please. So p and l together is a consonant cluster that makes the sound pl, 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 please, 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 pl, 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 pl. These are quite hard. Some of them are going to be challenging for you. Some of them will be easier for you. Here's an interesting one. Again, 2 words, corned, corned, corned beef, corned beef. I love eating corned beef. And here's one with the one word like bzz, 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 tubs, tubs, tubs. Thursday. All right. So what we're going to do, and hopefully you're still out there and still listening. You are. Hello, J Novo. Nice to see you. Is we're going to go through all of the 44 sounds of English. We're just going to do some practice, and we're going to identify quite a few of those consonant clusters as well. So the way we're going to do this is you're going to speak. The only way to improve here is if you actually speak. Hello, Isadora. So what I want to do is a lot of repeat after me type of things. And that might feel a little childish, but please, if you do want to get that sort of native-like or natural pronunciation, then it very much is a process of moving your mouth. Okay, this is a physical exercise. It's mental in the sense that you have to do a bit of reading, for example, and you have to listen to me. But what we're doing, and in order to improve your pronunciation to get it natural and native-like, you have to exercise your mouth. So that's what we're going to be doing, some mouth exercises. So how this works is I'm going to take you through lots of little funny sentences like these, okay? Now there are key sounds in here like ha, R, K, Z, for example, okay? So let's go through it. I'm going to stay on the screen, as embarrassing as this is, because you may need to watch my mouth, and I'm going to very much exaggerate my mouth movements. So the key sounds we're going to look at in this sentence are G. No, what's going on here? G, N, Sh, J. What's this one? This one. Ooh, and the, okay? Just let me check something. I feel like I've been logged out of the system here. You guys still there? Nope, they're still there. Okay, here we go. I'm going to say it. You repeat after me. If you're going shopping, John, could you get me these few things, please? Your turn. Okay, let's have a look at some of these key sounds like going. G is the key sound here. For example, we have a sh sound for shopping. We have a j sound for John. If you're a Spanish speaker, this is not a y sound, it's a j sound, okay? So any Spanish speakers, just be careful. Here we've got the oo, long vowel sound, oo, from few. And here we have a particularly, let me get out my pointer, just bear with me here, my spotlight pen. Here we have the things. And if you see my teeth and my tongue here, my teeth actually sit on top of my tongue, and I'm saying things. My tongue pops out just for a second while I make the th. We'll do this one more time. You ready? If you're going shopping, John, could you get me these few things, please? Your turn. Very good. Okay. Now we're going to focus on th again. Three. We're going to look at a long e sound. E is in kilos. E is in kilos, and b. we want to push out some air. Ready? 3 kilos of beans. Your turn. One more time. 3 kilos of beans. Ready? 6 fillets of fish. Your turn. One more time. 6 fillets of fish. Here we have a I, 6, I. We've got the f for fillets and fish, and we have the sh sound here. So 6 fillets of fish. What I want you to do while we're doing this is I want you to get a pen and a piece of paper, something to write on, and I want you to start to identify or find out which sounds you have difficulty making, which ones for you are hard, which ones are challenging. And I want you to identify them and write them down because that will be interesting for me. Here we go. We're going to look at r, e, y, and p. Okay, ready? Some bread and yellow peppers. Your turn. Some bread and yellow peppers. And my internet connection is unstable. Just bear with me. No, it should be fine. Let's go back to this one. You can see the chat flashing. All good. Okay, so Asu, we're just doing some pronunciation practice. So you just have to repeat after me. Okay, so cool. Let's move on to the next one. So here we have a bag of apples. Now, there's a real problem with English because the spelling does not often actually make sense. We don't say a bag of apples, we say a bag of apples, the bag, So it's one of those short vowel sounds. So in fact here it's an a bag of apples. We've got a b and a g, bag, bag. Here we go, repeat after me. A bag of apples. A bag of apples. Now what you'll also notice here is when I'm speaking like a native speaker and I'm starting to connect those words together, what happens is we're starting to see, I'm saying a bag of apples, a bag of apples, a bag of apples. I don't say a bag of apples. That's unnatural. What I'm doing is I'm connecting up those words into a natural sort of rhythm. I'm saying a bag of apples. Do you have a bag of apples? You try it. Ready? A bag of apples. Cool. That sounded native-like. Good stuff. That sounds natural. Here we go. Next one. We've got a h, r, k, and z. Tomatoes, tomatoes, z sound here. Ready? Repeat after me. 1/2 kilo of large tomatoes. One more time. 1/2 kilo of large tomatoes. Now, interestingly, if you're an American, you would say tomatoes, but because I have an Australian accent, I'm saying tomatoes. So if you're British, you'd say tomatoes. Americans say tomatoes. There's a little bit of a difference between the accents. Yeah, a little bit. A few of those sounds there are different when you say specific words. 1/2 kilo of large tomatoes. Okay, here we have the ah sound again. Ah, we've got a f, we've got a p, and we've got a t sound. F, p, t. We've got a coffee pot. Repeat after me. A coffee pot. One more time. A coffee pot. Good. Again, you're starting to understand that when a native English speaker is speaking, it's very fast and it's very connected. Those words, a coffee pot, almost becomes like one big word. They certainly are not separate. Here we're going to do or, b, and p. Now, there's a difference between b and p. What is that difference? If you're a Filipino, for example, or an Indonesian, you're going to have some difficulty distinguishing or hearing the difference between a b and a p sound. So if you're talking about going to the beach or eating a peach, there is a difference there. I can hear it because in my language here, there is a difference between b and p, but in Tagalog, in the Philippines, there is no difference between the b and p sound. So it's very difficult for you to hear, and it's difficult for you to say. The difference is this. When you make a b, b, b sound, p, 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 b, it's actually coming from your throat. So if you put your hand on your throat here and you say beach, 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 peach, 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 beach, you can feel the sort of vibration here. It's coming from deeper in your mouth or towards your throat. Whereas you say peach, 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 it's coming more from the front of your mouth. It's a very small distinction, but it's an important one. Ready? Repeat after me. Some corned beef and a pork pie. Let's try that again. Some corned beef and a pork pie. One more time. Some corned beef and a pork pie. Here we've got this interesting corned beef. We've got this connecting of these sounds across here. Corned beef, corned beef, corned beef, corned beef. Some corned beef and a pork pie. That one's a bit tricky. Here we go. Next one, we've got a cookery book. So we've got a k, an u, and a b sound here. So repeat after me. A cookery book. One more time. A cookery book. I just want you to type into the chat. Am I going too fast or am I going too slow or just right? Just type into the chat. Too fast, J, too fast, J, too slow, or J, just right. Okay. Okay, nice. Thank you for that. Good feedback, because I can't hear you. I can't see you. I'm just guessing, but that's okay. It looks like it's okay. And I also don't know what level you're at. I don't know if you're a beginner. I don't know if you're advanced, but I suppose that doesn't really matter. I see a lot of, or I hear a lot of people who have excellent English skills, grammar, vocabulary. Maybe they've been living in Australia or the US or the UK for a long time, but their pronunciation is still, it's coming from their first language. So they might be Russian, for example, and their Russian pronunciation is interfering with the way they speak English. So just be conscious of that. What we're doing is we're just performing. We're just, again, we're just doing these exercises for our mouth, but it just makes it easier for me to understand you. Here we go. We're going to do 1 tub of butter. A, b, t, a, b, t. We're going to a, b, t. Ready? Repeat after me. 1 tub of butter. 1 tub of butter. If you find yourself still having your first language pronunciation, try to change it. Try to copy me. 1 tub of butter. Next, we're going to do a long U sound. U. We've got these tubes. Tubes. Again, this is a funny Australian sound. We've got tubes and we've got glue. Ooh, 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 you. Tubes and glue. A bit different. And we've got a gut sound. Ready? Repeat after me. 2 tubes of glue. 2 tubes of glue. Cool. Hopefully that sounded good. Next one. Okay, this is where it gets hard. This is where it gets hard for Italian speakers, German speakers, people who, Indian, so the range of different Indian languages. This is the. It's not da, it's the. Again, the tongue, my teeth are on top, just for a brief second going the. And then we have the t for turkey. And what's happening here is my tongue is hitting my front teeth. T, turkey. If you're Indian and watching this, you'll be saying durkey, durkey, durkey with your tongue curled up. Don't curl your tongue. Make your tongue hit the back of your front teeth. Turkey. Make it sharp. Not durkey, turkey. For th. So here we got the, th. It's the same thing. The, th. Okay, here we go. Copy me. The turkey for Thursday. The turkey for Thursday. Just give yourself a score out of 10. How did you go? This is a hard one. What would you give yourself a score out of 10 for this sentence and these sounds? Are you a 5? Are you a 6? Are you a 10 out of 10? Can you make these sounds easily? Is this difficult? Hard and difficult? Isadora says 8. Joseph says 9. Hoda says 8. J Novo, I believe you may be from Brazil. 7. I think this is a sound that is challenging for Portuguese speakers. Yes, you're right. Here we go. Cool. Oh, got a few more responses coming in. Ruhi says 9. That's good. Okay, so again, maybe in your language already, maybe not. Let's keep going. Let's do A. This is a long vowel sound. A is in 8. 8. A. Hey, mate, do you have $8? A. And again, paper, and plates. These are all long A sounds. And we've got a P and a P. Again, this is a P. It's voiced. It's not vibrating here. It comes from the front of your mouth. 8 paper plates. Your turn. 8 paper plates. If you're a Southeast Asian speaker of like Malay or Indonesian or Tagalog again, or Vietnamese, you're going to have difficulty saying this sound here, plates, because usually in your language you cut off the final sound. But in English, it is absolutely essential. It's very important that you hit that final sound, because a lot of the information, the grammatical information in English comes from the final sound of the word. For example, there's a big difference between plate and plates. Plate means one, plates means more than one. So you must hit the final sound, or else the native English speaker thinks, what? Do you want one plate or do you want many plates? Keep that in mind. A Dover sole, by the way, is a fish. I have no idea why, but we're going to look at V. If you're an Indian, if you're a Dravidian speaker, like Telugu or Punjab or, this is going to test me, or no, they're South Indian. Dravidians, Kannada and Malayalam and I forget. V is going to be a challenge for you. So it's not dower, or it's not violin, or it's not violent. It's v, Dover soul. So try to hit this V for vibrating, V sound. Ready? A Dover soul. A Dover soul. Weird example. Apparently this is a fish from England, and whoever made these exercises used these examples. But that's an important critical sound for Indians and Pakistanis and Bangladeshis and Nepalese. Okay, next one. We've got a light. We've got this long vowel sound again. Light, white, wine. So we've got this long A. It's actually not that. It's a bit different. And we've got a l, w, n. Ready? Repeat after me. A light white wine. A light white wine. Good. If you're Korean or Japanese, you're going to have a bit of an issue with the L sound, light. You might be saying right white wine, right white wine. No, it's light white wine, light. Again, stick that tongue out, light. Here we go. Next one, we've got ow and hour. Ow and hour. These are long vowel sounds, combined vowels. We've got some brown flour. Your turn. Again, one more time. Some brown flour. Got this own, an hour, hour. I guess the difference here is between my Australian accent and an American accent. They would say flower, hour, and they'd really hit the hour. But Australian pronunciation is hour. They sort of cut the end off a little bit. Flower. Do you have any flour, mate? Whereas the Americans say flower. Cool. Let's do some more here. We've got ewer and oi. Again, long combined vowel sounds. Ewer and oi. Some pure olive oil. Your turn. One more time. Some pure olive oil. Cool. Pure olive oil. Oil. That's an interesting one. Let's keep going. Here we have ear, b, and d, as in some beer, not too dear. Your turn. One more time. Some beer, not too dear. Cool. All right. Next up we have air, as in a pear. We've got p, as in pear. We've got j, as in jeans. And we've got w, as in wear. So we've got two, air and air. Again, you can see the craziness of English spelling where air, different spelling, but it makes the same sound. Just going to quickly check the chat here. All good. So Arsu's got a question. All good. I'll do a bit of a Q&A at the end. If you do have any questions, just hold on to them. Here we go. Repeat after me, please. A pair of jeans to wear. One more time. A pair of jeans to wear. One more time. A pair of jeans to wear. Cool. Rock and roll. Next one. S-p-k. Hopefully this will be easy for you. 6 packets of crisps. Actually, that last word is crazy. One more time. 6 packets of crisps. Okay, that is quite possibly the most difficult consonant cluster in English. Sps, sps. That is a crazy sound. Crisps, 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 crisps. Yikes, that's tough. It's like when you say wasps and crisps. That is a crazy, crazy consonant cluster. Cool, well done. Next one, we've got a. We've got je here, as in je, hard to make a symbol. And then we've got z. So here is je, and this is z. There's a difference between je and z, as in a television magazine. One more time, a television magazine. Cool. Do you have that sound in your language? Maybe you do and it's easy. Maybe you don't and you're thinking, what the, I can't make that sound. Yes, you can practice it. Here we go. And the second last one, we've got ch and th. This time it's not the, it's th. So we're pushing air out, as in thick or thin. I want you to practice this. Let's do thick together. And put your hand in front of your mouth and say thick, thick. You should be able to feel the air hit the back of your hand here. Thick, thin, thick, thin, thick, thin. Okay? It's different from saying the word the, because the, there's no air being pushed out. It's a different sound. We don't say tha, we say the. So no air, and then thick, you hear the air. Ready? Some orange juice and some Dutch cheese, cut thick or thin. One more time. Some orange juice and some Dutch cheese, cut thick or thin. That's pretty hard, right? Let's do it one more time. Some orange juice and some Dutch cheese, cut thick or thin. Here, it's very tempting because we have a ch sound here and we have a ch sound here. It's very tempting to say Dutchies, Dutchies. But we can't do that. We need to keep these ones actually quite separate. So that's why for me it feels difficult. I have to say Dutch and I have to stop for a second, a split second, cheese, Dutch cheese. Keep those separate because they need to be separate here because they're two distinct words. Okay, last one is thanks very much for your help, John. One more time. Thanks very much for your help, John. And these sounds have nothing to do with this because I made a mistake. But we have a th, 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 th. This one is we're pushing air out. We have a, whoa, whoa. We have a v, as in very, very, very. Yeah, cool. Anyway, they are the various sounds of English. In those examples were all 44 sounds. And we also experienced quite a few of the different consonant clusters, so groups of consonants that come together. Like here we have an interesting one, oop, 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 help, help, help. So anyway, that's interesting for me. Just pop into the chat. Which sounds did you have difficulty with? What's your main challenge here? So Hoda says, I have a problem with the w sound. What and v maybe. What's your first language, Hoda? Can you please paste that into the chat? Type that in. Farsi. Interesting. Okay, Persian, Farsi. Wow. Nice. Okay. Good, good, good. Well, it's again, just remember that with pronunciation, it is a physical, muscular, physiological exercise. It's not like grammar. Grammar is something that you're thinking of in your brain and you're thinking, okay, if there's one subject, then the verb does this, blah, blah, blah. Pronunciation, it's like riding a bicycle, honestly, or learning how to skateboard. It's got that sort of feeling to it. So J Novo has difficulties with the th sound, Thursday, or the, for example. Now, when Speaking Lab, the course goes live, which will be very soon, next week sometime, and you'll have to pay for it. It's going to be reasonably inexpensive, relatively cheap. You get full access to the entire course, and in the course, there is actually a thing where you speak into your microphone. It will give you feedback on your pronunciation. So if you know what your errors are, if you know what the sounds are that you're having trouble with, you can then get feedback from the computer, which is totally awesome, as well as lots of different sort of practice activities and lessons, etc. Okie dokie, I think that's all. This is the first ever Speaking Lab live class, so for me it's a bit of an experiment. If you have any questions, please pop them into the chats and I will do my best to answer them. Questions about E2 school, questions about pronunciation, questions about whatever. I'll hang around for a few minutes. Cool, Arsu, go for it. And Isadora, I don't know why, but the word though has always been hard for me. Though. Though, yeah, it's a funny word, though. And also the spelling just is crazy, isn't it? Why doesn't it have a GH? It could be thoth, thoth. Like cough has O-U-G-H, cough, and though. So that's just a confusing one. Okay, so Hoda has difficulty with world and word. World, word. Interesting, LD versus bit there. Okay, De Novo says, would you pronounce with as in a slow motion camera? I don't understand the question. Sorry. You'll have to change the question so I get it. Asu, first the difference between E and A. E, as in heat and hate. Heat and hate. Oh, okay. Sorry, I get you, Geneva. Okay. Ready? You want me to pronounce the word with very slowly so you can see my mouth. With, with, with. So I'm doing the with. The hard bit is probably not the wi, it's the th. Very strange, and I'm sorry, I did brush my teeth this morning. So Asu asks, how do I improve my pronunciation? Well, speak at this E2 school is built for you to improve your pronunciation. It takes you through the different mouth movements, all the different 44 sounds, the long vowels, the short vowels, the combined vowels, the consonants. It gives you feedback. It teaches you how to firstly understand and hear the sound, and then it teaches you when you're speaking. So yes, it is definitely the thing that you need. Hoda asks, Jay, I always get a low score in pronunciation. I'm guessing for the PTE test. Is this a matter of word stress? I think word stress, yes, I think you're right. Word stress comes under pronunciation. What Hoda means there by word stress is, let's say you have a word like democracy, right? Democracy. And the stress or the emphasis in that word is on the mo sound. Mo, democracy, democracy, democracy. I'm putting emphasis there because it's not democracy. If I put emphasis on the cr sound, the word sounds wrong. Democracy, democracy. What? What's democracy? Oh, democracy. So depending on where you're putting your emphasis or your stress, you're changing the meaning of the word. Well, actually, you're making a meaningful word unmeaningful. So just, it's pretty hard to know. You need to hear the word, okay? You need to be conscious that there is a thing called word stress. Then you need to hear the word. Isadora, when I say the words slowly, I get them right. But when I try to speak a little faster, it is kind of hard. How can I improve that? Isadora, if you go to YouTube and you type in PTE speaking science, PTE speaking science, I did a range of videos on the different, not just pronunciation, but this thing called connected speech, which you will be interested in. Connected speech is when you start to speak more rapidly, more quickly, and you're starting to join and connect those specific words, okay? It's a part of fluency. Asu, I'll just do it very quickly. With. I think that was the word you wanted. Ruhi, I'm confused to use punctuation on complex. I'm not going to answer that one. That's like the meaning of life question. So Hoda, for you, I believe Speaking Lab will be very good, but also do think about the tutorial on e2language.com and signing up to one of our packages, getting some feedback from the teacher on your pronunciation. Cool. Thanks very much for coming along, everybody. This is the first ever Speaking Lab live class. I hope it was helpful. Just be careful with that one, Genovo. Cool. I'll see you again on Thursday, or David will see you for more speaking practice on Thursday, so do come along. Please tell your friends about E2 School. Share it on your Facebook page. Do whatever you do. Remember, it's free for the next little while. So, yeah. Anyway, it's going to be a good website when we get it up and running. And it is up and running, but we'll improve it. Cool. See you later, guys.